Hey everyone, thanks for starting to play games. My name is Lance, and today I'm looking at a brand new set of mats from Crafting Kingdoms that are going to be compatible with Gloomhaven. Now before getting into the video, there is one important thing I have to say, which is that Crafting Kingdoms and the mats are non-licensed third-party products. These are not affiliated, associated, or approved by Cypher Games, Gloomhaven, or Frosthaven in any way, shape, or form. So that out of the way, there are going to be three different options or three different sizes for the character mats. You're going to have a small compact size that'll have the main features that you're going to need for your character. There's a medium-sized mat that's going to add some additional features, and a large mat that'll have all the different features and spots for all the different tokens and whatnot for your character. And I'm going to go into more detail about each one of these mats, showing you the comparison and differences of the different mats a little bit later in the video. Now each one of the mats you can also choose to add stitching to the edges that is going to add some durability to the mats, and it just adds a lot to the looks as well. I love the way that this stitching brings all this stuff together on the mat, and a lot of the bigger companies are doing that now with their mats, so that's a nice option for your mats. Now there's also going to be monster mats if you want to add the mats for the different monsters and keep them organized as well, and I'll go into more detail about those a little bit later in the video as well. Now there's also going to be, for a lot of you watching this, there's going to be a brand new Kickstarter for the Frosthaven compatible mats, and these are also going to be offered in the three different sizes, and they'll have the monster mats with them as well. And I don't have any prototypes of those as they were still working on some of the designs up to the Kickstarter, but I have some image of these, and as you guys can see, these are beautiful mats. I love the coloring of those. I cannot wait to add these to my collection, as well as getting my copy of Frosthaven in whenever it gets done in production. I am super excited about playing that and adding those mats to the game. I love neoprene mats myself. If anytime I back a Kickstarter, if it offers me a neoprene mat, I usually pick it up, especially if it's a game I'm really excited about. And with these, I'm going to show you some other examples and comparisons from other major games that are out there with those, so you can kind of see how these line up with those, if they're roughly the same size and durability as some of those other mats from big companies that are out there that are putting them out as well. So as far as shipping is concerned, you're going to receive your mats in these really nice tubed cardboard cases that are going to keep them protected on their journey to you, and you can keep them in these afterwards as well. These are really durable, hard cardboard cases. And then there's also going to be some bags you can get. These are fabric bags that have a pull string on them. They also have a cord to travel with, and they look like they're really durable. There's two different tones of fabric that are combined with these. It's a pretty good thick fabric. The stitching on these looks pretty solid. It doesn't look like there's any holes or gaps or anything. The cords and the straps are really stitched in there very nicely, and it looks like they can hold quite a few mats in there. I probably wouldn't load it up with tons and tons, but you could probably get the 4-player mats in there and a monster mat, and with no problems whatsoever. With that, in the video, I'm going to again take you through and show you all the different things. I'm also going to show you an example setup with some of the components on there from Gloomhaven, and a sample player or a full game setup with 2 players, so you can see how it does on the board that I'm using. And with this table, this is a 3-foot by 4-foot table to give you an idea. Some of it doesn't fit in the camera, so I had to kind of scrunch it in there a little bit, but I could definitely see getting 2 players on there with the large mats, or I might be able to stretch it to 4 players with the small mats. So depending upon your table size, that might help you determine what kind of mats you could get on your tables. So of course, these are just my opinions. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section below as well. Let me know if you guys backed the original Kickstarter campaign for the Gloomhaven compatible mats, and if you're looking at backing the Frosthaven campaign for their compatible mats. Like I said, I really love the looks of the new ones. I love the coloring of them. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think of that as well. And also, if you have any other questions or anything else that I don't cover in the video, let me know in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer that, or I'll swing it over to the creators and get some answers for you guys on that as well. So let's go ahead and head to the table, and I'll show you guys what this is all about. So the first thing I want to go into is the player mats, and there are going to be 3 different sizes of these, small, medium, and large, and I'm going to show you each one of those and a breakdown of the different features on them. Before I do, I also want to talk about the mats themselves. So these are a really thick, well put together mat, and I'll show you the other ones as well, as this one has stitching on it, and the other ones you have the option to have stitching or not. So they have a really good finish to the bottom of them. It looks like this is really going to hold up well, and the finish on the top is really well done as well. The printing comes out really good. It might be a little bit dark in the camera, but these do look great. And I'm going to show you some comparisons and bonus points if you can figure out what games these are from. But these are comparison mats, as you can see. So the thickness on these is about on par. The middle mat, it probably is just a touch thinner than the other 2 mats. And I have to give you a peek of this one just so you can hopefully guess it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think these are from. But those are leading competitors' mats as well, so you can kind of see the comparison between the quality of this mat compared to other mats from other bigger companies potentially. From there, let's go ahead and take a look at the mat itself. So this is, again, the large mat for the player or the characters. Each one of these is going to have spots for different conditions you can place, your active abilities that are going to last for a whole round or however long you have them for, character tokens, and they'll have the 5 different slots for those, your player board or character board itself, and then spots for your lost and discarded ability cards, all of your different equipped items and different armor and hand weapons and all kinds of stuff for that, and you can keep those all organized. And I like how they have this broken down into a grid. I don't know if they were going for this intentionally, but it reminds me of other games, kind of like Diablo and that, where you have to fit things into different spots, so it just kind of reinforces that feeling of that you're playing this epic spanning dungeon crawler through all this different stuff. So it kind of reminded me of that. I don't know if it'll do it for you guys, but that's what first came to my mind. You have a spot for your different cards from your hands, a spot where you can hold all your little loot tokens, a player reference card, and your modifier cards, then your HP and XP gauge that you can place on there. And it looks like they also tried to add a different one if you wanted to set this up differently. I would have liked to see this just a touch bigger if that was their intention, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Otherwise, you can definitely place the entire mat on there. For that, the character sheet and notes, and then your battle goal and personal quest goal. And after I go through each of the features of the mats, I will show all the components on there as well, so you can see how they look on the mats. So from here, let's go ahead and take a look at the medium-sized mat. So with this one, this is one that it was done without the stitching, so you can kind of see the difference. It is still a really good, high-density, thick neoprene mat, and with this one it basically just cuts off the side here. As you can see, everything else pretty much remains the same size as the other mats. This one's just a touch longer because of the stitching with it, but other than that, everything else is laid out the same. And then moving into the smaller mat, it still pretty much has the same similar layout to it as far as the top end's concerned. It just reduces the size of your items box, as you can see here, compresses those down, and it takes away a couple of other features on there. It still has your loot. It removes the player reference card, but it still has a spot for your hand and your modifiers, as well as the other critical things for your player. So as you can see, like I said, again, it just cuts off this part here and then this part here. So those are your 3 different options for the player mats. And then I'm going to go ahead and set up and show you what the large mat looks like with all this stuff on it. So here I have the Brute all set up. This is a level 1 Brute, and I have all of the different things laid out, and as you can see, everything is really nice and organized on this player mat. The other set of mats that they offer are the monster mats, and these will have 4 different monster slots on them, and they're a little bit longer. So this one, as you can see, has the 4 slots, and then it also has slots for the monster attack modifier cards and the revealed cards, and then each one of the monster's ability cards as well. And then the setup for the monster mat, and I have this set up for the very first scenario, going against some archers, guards, and living bones. And each one of the enemies has their own ability cards and then the modifier cards at the bottom here again. And the last thing I want to show is a full setup. So first off, I have a large player mat and a small player mat here, and then the monster mat. And as you can see, it really works out well. Everything is really nice and organized. It does take up a little bit more room on a table, but if you have a table that's long enough, then you can easily use the large mats, or with the variety of sizes, you can choose which mats work best for you. Well, I hope you guys found this video helpful in deciding whether or not you want to back these mats on Kickstarter. If you have any questions or comments, leave those in the comments section below and I'll do my best to answer them. Or swing by the Kickstarter's main page and drop any questions you have there as well. I'm sure the creators would love to hear from you and are more than happy to answer any questions you have. If you found this video helpful, if you like what I do, please consider hitting that like button and subscribe to my channel, as it really does make a big difference. It helps me to continue to grow and get new products and new games to show off and teach you guys. And as always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch my videos and leave me feedback on them. I do really appreciate it, and I take into account everything you guys say to make the best possible videos. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.